everyone. Good evening. It's 9 p.m. and it's on a Monday. That means it's another episode of Shine at 9. So today's episode 23. Wow, it's a long journey, and today's episode is about performing arts. So I've got two guests tonight, and they are behind the scenes in the studio here with me. And I told them that tonight's episode I want to go in first, and then do the thing and bring them in at a later stage. So without further ado, I think most of my friends, most of the viewers have read that tonight's episode I'll be having Miss Joanna Bessie, and I do believe a lot of us here, Malaysians, who used to watch NTV7 and the local, channels will remember her. And I've got Mr. Joel Low as well, a very young, talented actor. I want to say aspiring, but he's already made a name for himself, in fact. And he's only 16 years old. And yeah, let's welcome them. I'll get Joel in first. Hi, Joel.
Hello.
And hello, Miss Joanna Bessie.
Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes.
So they're both in red and they're looking so good tonight. How are you, both of you? Eaten your dinner?
Yeah, eating my
Yes.
dinner.
Thank you. Yeah. I hope everyone's staying safe and keeping well. So thank you for having us, Geraldine. This is so fun.
Thank you for having us.
Nice.
Welcome, most welcome. So Joel is officially my youngest guest.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes. It's not often that I mean, we speak about parenting, but we never brought the kids in. So yeah, this is very new to me even. And if you can see me blushing and getting excited, it's because I'm a fan of Joanna. I can't say that I've been watching her all my life and followed all her programs, but I do like Kopitiam very much.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, if you guys are watching us tonight, make sure you put a like, click on a share, help us by spreading this episode so that everyone can get inspired and go behind the scenes and understand what it takes to be an actor, what's the fear like, and of course what's the managing the fans like. Yeah. Okay. So just a very brief introduction to Joanna. She's been acting for 20 years. That's older than how old Joel is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah. I feel quite old now.
it's amazing. So this was found on LinkedIn. Of course, she wasn't telling me all this to brag about herself or anything. So she's been in the industry for 20 years. She's an award-winning actress, theater director and producer, voice-over talent for commercials, documentaries, and animation. And what I didn't see in terms of description over there, apart from just a one-liner, is that she's also a teacher, head of Infinity Academy Performing Arts. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, correct. That's right.
Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that.
Thanks, Geraldine. Wow, you've been doing lots of research. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, well, as you know, I started off. I actually started off in the theatre, working in theatre from quite a young age. Actually, I was about Joel's age when I started in theatre. When I was in school in the UK, I was still schooling there, and I did a few productions, like operettas and school productions as well, and some like semi-professional productions. So that's where I found my love of acting and my love for the theatre. I think I love human beings. I find human beings fascinating, and I love portraying different points of view. So that's always a lot of fun for me.
Oh, that's nice. That's really cool. And Joel, you're the youngest guest I have, but by far not the most shy. So tell us a little bit about yourself. We will get involved in their life a little bit later, but just a quick one about yourself, Joel.
My name is Joel. I am 16 years old this year. But I'm not 16 yet. I'm still 15. So yeah, I'm still pretty young. I am a student of Infinity Academy. I've been going there for 7 years now. I think this will be my 7th year, and I've learned so much. And I think without Infinity Academy, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Because
Wow.
it has impacted my life, like obviously a lot. I've done so much with them, and I probably wouldn't even be an actor today without them.
It's amazing. I am just so excited to learn because, you know, growing up in schools, they did have theater and, you know, drama challenge between, you know, the you know, what do you call that, classes. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I found it very intimidating and in fact very scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, it is quite an intimidating art form in terms of, you know, you have to be able and prepared to be under pressure and stand in front of hundreds or sometimes thousands of people. Like Joel's background,
Mhm.
where I think that's Istana Budaya, is it, Joel?
No, this is the Phantom of the Opera. This is where they Phantom of the Opera.
But this kind of
Oh.
venues, you know, like that Joel has now performed in, they
Mhm.
seat like 1,300, 1,400 people a night. So you know, you do have a lot to overcome in
Mm.
terms of nerves. Or
Exactly.
even if you're shooting on a set, you know,
Mhm.
So a lot
you'll
of
have
people.
all the crew there. Yeah, so you have a lot of people watching, and sometimes you
Yeah,
will
all
feel the
the
pressure.
crew, right? They are also quite scary to have around us. I
Yeah.
mean, as we are acting. I never thought about the crew. I just keep on thinking, um, the audience, just the audience that I have to worry about.
Mhm.
The crew makes up for additional set of eyes on us.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So
Yep.
they kind of become like your audience, you know. And then of course, in the studio, it's not you don't have the same kind of like pressure of it's live and you don't get a second take like you do in theater. So I think theater is always, or you know, similar to public speaking, but you're portraying a role and it's artistic. So yeah, it's always a challenge. It's always I think you have to kind of love that sort of thrill. Yeah, so that's where I think that's where Joelle also enjoyed all the what we did
Loved
at
it.
Infinity Academy because of the productions, right? Because of the live shows.
Even doing this talk show makes me nervous. I don't know how you guys get on the stage every
I think
day.
I think doing, you know, movies and like TV shows is for me at least, it's more
Mhm.
scarier than doing it live, because when I do it in front of an audience, I don't know, I don't really see the audience. I like, you know, when you get into your character, you kind of blank everything out. You just focus on your character and you perform, and then, you know, it's basically, it's easier. It's an easier way to express yourself. Where, in my case, when I go in front of like a camera, in front of all the crew, it's like the camera is very intimidating.
Mhm.
So I had to, you know, learn to get past that and blank the camera out as well. And also, you know, the crew sometimes can be really scary. Like if you mess up a take, they'll scold you, and then it can be really scary as well.
That's major compartmentalizing going on. I mean, you blank out everything else, but you keep your script in mind.
Yeah.
And you know, you got to move in a certain way, or if it's a musical, I
Yeah.
guess you got to dance as well,
Dance
choreograph
in a certain way, yeah.
dance as well. Yeah, that's quite crazy. Actually, I've got a set of questions meant for Joanna and Joel tonight, and it's already 8 minutes into the show, and I don't know where I am in terms of my script already because I'm just so excited to hear from you guys. You know, so I'll just jump back into the questions that I've set out so that we can follow some kind of script and we achieve our goals tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Before I forget, tonight's episode is actually a sponsored episode by Home Creation Realtor. So if you would like to connect with them, I've put on their Facebook address as well as their URL, their website address. So I'll just read a little bit of caption about them. Building on the principles of professionalism, reliability, and progressiveness, Home Creation Realtor, or HCR, provides real estate related services in handling the selling, purchasing, leasing of residential, corporate and industrial properties. So if you need these services, yep, you can get in touch with them. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show, Home Creation Realtor. All right, coming back to the show, coming back to the questions I have in mind for both Joanna and Joel. Joanna, I understand that you are the head of an academy. How did it start? It started in 2011, but what was the journey like so far?
Yeah, so after I had, you know, quite a long career in theater and in television and film, and then I got to the point where I was going to have my first child, and Chiara Jacquelina, who is the owner of Infinity. And she's a well-known producer and actress. And she had this dream to start this performing arts academy. So she offered me a job. Yes, she offered me a job a bit more than 8 years ago now. And I started at the end of 2011. And yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past 8.5 years. We do performing arts training, and we do corporate training, drama-based corporate training. And we also have a certificate in performing arts for adults. So it's like a short-term program, a certificate for, communication, for acting, for dance, for business and performing arts. So yeah, there's a lot that we offer actually. So it's all to do with the arts and creativity.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And in terms of enrollment, do you take kids only or adults welcome?
Yes, definitely. Yes, we actually cater for. We have products for all different ages. So for our weekly classes, now we've started to do online. So our new semester, yeah. Actually, this is a program that Joel, who's our star tonight, he went through this program for many years. So now we call it Musical 360. And because of the RMCO, we're actually going to start it online in July. So 4th of July, Saturday, 4th of July, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12, we'll be having our performing arts classes for children.
Okay. Yeah. For children. Okay. So it's going to be online. And what is the module for 1 hour, 2 hour long?
Yeah, we've got 2 hours, and it will be weekly for children on Saturday mornings throughout the year. And then at the end of the year in November, hopefully we can do like a social distancing concert, like a school holiday program. We have a school holiday program planned to do a show. So that's kind of similar to what Joel went through. Although in Joel's time, we didn't have all this, online version.
Yep. But also, I mean, people would think, oh, that's so weird, socially distanced theater concept whatsoever. Who knows? This could be an interesting challenge for you, pushing your boundaries of creativity.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
We don't know what can happen. It's interesting. Okay. We have an audience watching us tonight. He's Heide, and he first and foremost, he's been on my show, and he's saying that he was the youngest. He thought he was the youngest on my show. Heide.
Hi.
and he wants to be apparently James Bond.
Oh wow!
So this is a question for Joanna, I guess. Do I still have a shot to become the next Bond if I go to the academy?
Of course.
Look at the confidence. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like,
Joel is a little bit mean. He's laughing.
Sorry?
Joel is just laughing. He can't take it.
No. He has all the chance to be the next James Bond. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. So, but because the academy, Joanna's teaching at, also managing the academy, they do, train adults. So why not?
Yeah, we do performing arts training for adults, and actually quite a few of the actors that are in our big shows. Because Infinity Malaysia does musicals like Ola Bola musical, which Joel was in. The next show would be Putri Gunung Ledang, which has been postponed to next year now.
There will be a reproduction. I mean, like, how do you call it? I know there are 2 installments, right? For Putri.
Yeah, so I think Putri Gunung Ledang, had already 2 or 3 seasons before, and it was scheduled to be staged in a new production this year, but now it's been postponed to next year. Yeah,
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe your friend who just wants to be Bond, maybe you can come and audition for Putri Gunung Ledang instead in the time being.
Okay. I will give you Joanna's contact details, and the academy is actually in Ancrop Strand, so it's not that far away. If you guys are wondering, why not? This apart from acting or taking up a job as an actor, I do believe that this kind of skill set it does encourage a different type of what do you call that? It builds a different kind of confidence. It builds confidence. What do you think, Joanna?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, originally the dream was to create a performing arts training center to upskill performing artists that Tiara, Jacquelina, and Infinity needed for their shows. But then as we were doing all this training, we realized, oh wow, we're actually quite skilled when it comes to team building. We're able to manage people and get them to work together in a creative manner to really crazy deadlines. How do we do that? And then like communication skills. Communication skills is like one of the most important things that you need in your career and life in general. And there's no one set way to communicate. Every situation demands a different type of adaptation in how you communicate. So how I would communicate with, let's say, my family, or with if I'm presenting to a board, or if I am pitching to a client or to a customer, I need to be able to adjust the manner in which I speak so that it really relates to them. So actors, actually acting skill and drama skill, we know how to do this. It's part of the art form, the storytelling art form that we've been doing for thousands of years now, and that tradition has been handed down and handed down and handed down. So we've created a special, it's sort of like an acting technique, but for the workplace. How do you adapt your communication, things like presentation skills, public speaking skills? So from there, from the original idea of just performing arts, then we've expanded into corporate training and drama-based corporate training. So it's like really fun. It has a different kind of edge. Yeah, it has a different kind of edge, and it's really immersive. It's interactive. It's experiential learning. There's no like death by PowerPoint, So now with MCO and RNCO, we had another challenge, which was crazy. It was like, how do we get that kind of interactive experiential learning through a screen? Because we can't do it in person. So we've been developing that over the last 3 months, and we've been doing impactful presentation skills and public speaking skills online. As webinars.
That's what I think. In fact, I don't aspire to be an actor per se, but I do think the skill set to be a good presenter, to be a good speaker or a trainer, in fact, I can learn it through acting, through performing arts. Even script writing, creativity. Okay, I would like to ask Joelle actually, when you started at 9, was it your own intention? Did you ask your parents that you want to get enrolled, or how did it go? How did it went?
If I can remember properly, because when I was in primary school, like I was primary 1, I joined the choir of my school concert because I was in Sri KDU, and back then the performing arts was really huge there. So when I was primary 2, I got into the cast, and I didn't know I wanted to be an actor. So I got on stage, and my mom, she was like, wow, you can act. I just thought, it was my mom, moms are supposed to say that, even if you did that. So,
even if you're lousy.
Yeah, exactly. So
I have to say, Joelle has the most supportive family. Like his grandparents, everybody in his family have been like, anyways, carry on, Joelle. I mean, I just think they're amazing.
So then when I was primary 3, my mom, she said, oh, I found this place, called Infinity Academy. And I was like, oh, what's that? And she was like, just go and try. And so I went and tried, and very successful.
And you've been there for you were there for how many years?
So 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh my gosh, this is my 8th year.
So you're still a student?
Oh, not as active anymore, but
so it's not like a one course. So Joanna, it's not like a one course and then you're done. You can take a longer term course. Longer term program.
So we have different types of programs. So the programs are also quite flexible. So for the adult performing arts certificate that we have, which Joelle would be eligible for soon, as soon as he's done his SPM, we have it. We give it in different modules. So we've broken it down. The full certificate is broken down into smaller modules. So you can do it according to your preferable schedule and your budget and so forth. Yeah.
Okay. So for everyone who just joined us, thank you so much for joining us. Who we have today in the studio are Joanna Bessie and Joel Lau. Joel Low. I get that wrong a lot. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. And this young chap here is actually Joanna's student in the Infinity Academy. And I got to see his CV today. And for a person that is almost 16, his CV is long, very long. So he's been involved in theater acting, TV commercials, voice acting, even in Singapore. Am I right, Joel?
Yeah, I've
Right.
done some in Singapore. Yeah.
So how do you manage your time?
Well, we're like with school.
Yeah, with school and maybe your
So-
other hobbies, your friends. Yeah.
So, like acting, I would say is kind of like my hobby, but now it's turned into a job now, which I find good. It's like good. A job and a hobby makes it perfect. So yeah, I find that amazing. With school, however, obviously it's pretty difficult sometimes because like I did a show when I was 13. It's called Anak Merdeka. It was aired on Astro, and we had to go to Johor to shoot for 2 months. And yeah, I had to skip school for 2 months, and obviously it was pretty hard. But there was a tutor. They hired a tutor to come and teach me while I was shooting, in the shooting process. And so you need to be a fast learner in my case.
Fast
Yeah.
learner. That's one tip for those of you who are parents that are watching us. If you have kids that are interested in the performing arts, it does take hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Joanna, what kind of encouragement or what kind of advice do you give parents for like Joel's parents? What kind of advice do you give them to support their child who has this interest or passion?
I think I think especially for Malaysian parents, this is sort of a new thing. Like, what is this? That's not a real career. Or when I first started, when I was 20, I would still, even after I was famous on TV and I was doing all this work, I would still get asked by family members, when are you going to get a real job? Right.
Okay.
So I think that is slowly starting to change, especially now that we're in, we had something massive like this pandemic happen, and we start to realize how important creativity, our ability to imagine, to innovate, and therefore innovate also to be able to speak and share our ideas very clearly. So all of these, what we would normally call sort of soft skills, I think we've amplified how important it is. And when it comes to things like arts and culture, how do we share the stories of our culture? It's through arts, right? Otherwise, part of who we are, our history, our identity, what we're about, what makes us special gets lost. So I think that is a really nice thing about working in Infinity Academy and creating programs for people to really tap in and connect back with themselves as human beings, and to remember what it means to feel, to experience emotion, which is why we switch on the TV or the radio or Netflix or whatever. Why we are sentient beings. We want to feel things. We want to experience things, and it's very important to us. I think, I think programs like this and this as a career moving forward, even for the creative industries, we start to see, the whole digital transformation happening. So it's one thing to just transform in a very regular way, but wouldn't it be better to transform in a more exciting, artistic, and original, creative way? And those are the businesses and the entrepreneurs who, moving forward, are getting the most attention or standing out. So yeah, I think our purpose serves a bigger. We do serve a bigger purpose in society, not just like fun, it's just entertainment. It is those things as well. But I think a lot of possibly our public are starting to realize how much more profound and how important it is to being human that the arts are.
That's actually a very interesting comment. And we did have an educator and psychologist on our show many episodes ago, Dr. Goh Chi Leong, and he actually mentioned that in terms of education right now, it's about spotting the child's talents or communicating with them well enough to understand that they have interest and passion or just even a spark of curiosity in a certain different field that is not science and maths, right? So like what Joel has shared, that his mom spotted his talent first. He knew some sort that he enjoys this activity, but he never knew what it could mean in the real world, right? So that's pretty amazing. And Joel, your dad is watching us here, and I have to bring his comment up on the screen. So this is Joel's dad, Mr. Tim Low. He's proud of Joel. Sometimes it's not easy to get our parents to say this to us. So your dad is saying he's proud of you, and thank you, Joanna, for making Joel who he is today.
Wow, that's nice. Thank you.
I would say kudos to this type of parents. So Joanna, sometimes it's not so obvious that the child is keen. So what can the parents do to find out, to encourage? What can the parents do? Do they bring them to Infinity?
Yeah. I think that is the thing about this type of training center, the Performing Arts Training Center, is actually not just for people who want to have a career in the arts, or to be a singer or an artist, or to be an actor like Joel. Joel obviously wants to be an actor, right? It's actually the arts and performing arts are for everybody, and every human being is born with imagination and creativity. So we need programs to help us tap into it, to utilize it. Even if we want to be a scientist or a doctor or an accountant and all these other things, we need all of these things in society. But wouldn't you rather be a scientist who can share his ideas clearly? I'm going to quote one of my favorite Albert Einstein quotes, which is, Einstein said, "A true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination." Because you imagine, like, some people have so much knowledge, and we Malaysians, we have so many great ideas. We have we are very intelligent people, but sometimes and often we don't know how to share all of our ideas with other people clearly and with impact, so that other people really understand what we're talking about. So a lot of our amazing ideas get lost in this, like we have it here and it's not coming out here clearly. Right? So that's what Infinity Academy is about. So it's actually not just for people or parents who spot, oh, my child is creative. I'm telling you, I've taught thousands of children now, all across Malaysia, because we have programs in underprivileged schools, thanks to support from like UAM Sunrise and Yayasan Saim Darby, and we've been going all over the country to like 6-7 different states, to underprivileged schools. So there's all those thousands of children that we've taught, and then all the children who come to our center. And for parents out there, this is a life skill. Soft skills, being able to speak clearly, confidently, not being freaked out by sharing your ideas. And even for young children, like, how do you imagine and form an idea, an original idea? So if we don't have programs like this in our schools, and this is what the arts provides, you see, we're underestimating how important that is. We're expecting children to be able to do that on their own magically somehow. You'll know how to do it. When you grow up,
you'll figure it out. Yeah.
But then in reality, people get nervous, people, shy away, they may not have enough self-esteem or whatever. There could be thousands of reasons because they've not had this practice and training. So it's great for people who want to have a career in the arts, but it's equally important for any human being in career and life skill, which is why I think we also now have this drama-based corporate training.
It's amazing. We'll come back to that corporate training. Joel, I was curious about you've gone through the process, the academy, the formal training, if you want to call it that. The formal training. How do you feel? This background has shaped you as an individual, as a person?
How it shaped me, because before I joined Infinity Academy,
because I'm guessing you're probably a little bit different or a lot different from your
Well, first,
peers?
Joelle, you should probably tell people how old you are because, thank you for
Yeah.
the comment from your dad.
Yeah,
To me,
especially those
but
who joined
you are
us,
quite
just joined us.
incredible yourself. Yeah. Maybe you should share with everyone how old you are.
I am 15 years old, but I'm turning 16 in November.
In
Yes.
November.
Yep.
You look 12 right now.
Yes, I look
You look
very
very
young.
young. Yeah. So yeah, because
That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
yeah, that's a blessing. Yeah, because I think in the performing world, you can stretch a little bit longer at the
Yeah,
end.
exactly.
Further on, yeah, and you can play a range like right now. You can play a 10-year-old, or if they groom you
Uh,
up, pile you up a little bit better, you can push to 18 or something.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I
Yeah.
can play more younger roles. You can get more jobs.
Yeah, you can play more jobs. Yeah. So the first time I spoke to you was this afternoon, like around 4:30, and over the phone, I imagine. I mean, I formed. I imagine how you
Mhm.
look like, and then I saw you for the first time at 8:30 p.m.
Mm.
behind the scenes here, and Joel sounded very very matured for his age. He was confident on the phone, and when I hung up the phone, I said that kid is so articulate. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
seriously,
Wow.
this is exactly what Joanna has said. It's actually a life skill. So I'm not saying to put down your peers, but how do you think what you have learned shape you as a person?
It has made me more confident. Also, it has improved my English. I
Oh,
think
right.
about a lot, like pronunciations, because we read a lot of scripts. We get a lot of scripts when we do shows, so
Mhm.
it has improved my pronunciation. It has, made me more confident. Like when I'm in school, like for me, like when I'm in school right now, like because I have like a maths presentation coming up, and all my friends are like, "Oh, okay, it's gonna be really scary to talk in front of everybody." But I don't know. I think for me, presentations are easier to
For
for me
sure,
to get marks
yeah.
because I can get it's basically free marks for me because presentations are like they become more easier to me because I've been
You're used to
oh,
it.
performing in front of like let's just say 400 people. Yeah, I'm used to it. Yeah.
Mm. See,
Yeah,
Joanna
there's
is
a
smiling.
certain
Look at that.
kind of it's a certain kind of. I think when you go through something like that and you've like steadily I mean, to work in theater, you have to be really disciplined actually, and you have to rehearse every day for several hours, and it's quite a long, lengthy process to get it just perfect and just right for a live show. So the kind of discipline and working towards a steady goal and knowing which obstacles you have to overcome and steadily doing your daily exercises and rehearsal process, and then actually putting it all into use and performing and overcoming the fears and the nervousness and whatever worries you may have and accomplishing that in front of hundreds or maybe thousands of people, that gives you a certain kind of confidence that so when it pales in comparison to like, oh, I've got test, so test is that's no big deal anymore. So how you deal with nervousness, how you deal with pressure, and actually like what Joelle said about communication and dealing with pressure and all of these things are actually techniques that we teach and that we learn as part of an actor's skill in the theatre. The clarity of the voice, how to breathe, how to deal with, I was a host for a program on BBC World News, and I knew that while I was shooting the program, although the crew was small, 270 million people potentially watched BBC World News. So that was a lot of pressure on me. I was like, oh my
And
God, I want to represent Malaysia. I don't want to do a bad job. And all those of course, all your self doubts will come into play as well, and things like that. And how do I relate to people through a camera, etc., etc. Or shooting in difficult locations with all sorts of distractions. So how do you deal with all that? And these are actually techniques that we learn and use in the theatre from the ancient Greeks for thousands of years. We've been learning these techniques. How do you deliver the message, the story, in a way that will still be impactful and not get hung up in yourself and overcome with your own self-doubt or nervousness? So actually, it's something that you can learn, and that's what we teach. whoever comes to us, our feedback is really good, and people find it very, very useful in general. Yeah.
Right. This is amazing. I like the word you said, life skill, actually, and then you said self-doubt. Even people in the working industry, workforce, they are required to present, at any one time. And I find that a lot of people are unable. They can prepare their screens, their slides, but they are really scared to present. Like you said, they can't articulate, they can't present their ideas well or clear. And it's a life skill. So Joel has got this covered already. When he goes into university, he's good. He goes into a workforce, whichever way he chooses to go. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the pressure is that you're dealing with, a job interview.
Who knows, along the way you meet a woman, you want to marry her, you've got to meet your future in-laws, right? That works, right? That's also acting. You're like freaking out, but you know how to do it. Yeah. So yeah, it is life skill. I do believe that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, I would like to ask you, Joanna, about your experience as an actor and doing what you do. Yeah, what is your most fond memory in front of a camera?
In front of the camera. Oh, I have so many because
Share.
I've done hundreds of episodes of television actually over the years before I started doing what I'm doing now full time. And so all the young people might not realize this. But like you said, people from my generation may have seen stuff. So I've got so many great memories. I think a lot of them are just working with incredibly talented, creative, compassionate, giving people. And I think that's the thing about creativity in the arts is that it taps into part of being human that which is why I love working in this industry. It taps into a part of being human that we sometimes forget in normal workaday rush and pressure, of the corporate world, for example. And it allows us time to like breathe and take stock of what's going on and what it means to be, a human being and really have a real human connection with people. So for me, I've got loads of fantastic memories of like working with comedians like Alvin Shauki and Harith Iskander on all sorts of skit shows and all the crazy stuff we used to shoot for their shows, and Kopitiam, of course. I've got hundreds of memories of working, and the kind of bonds that you create with with each other. And I think Joel could probably say the same about his friends from being in performing arts classes and with friends. But even the people I've worked with in films or on sets, we're still friends until today. And I think because we had a shared emotional experience, it's something that is quite unforgettable. Yeah. So yeah, I've got too many great ones to mention, but I have to say it's the people that stay with me, in my mind. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's in line with what you just told me, because I asked Joanna, is she still in touch with her cast members back then, Kopitiam? And she was like, yeah, and that's so long ago. That's almost 20 years ago. And Joel, what about you? Joel, what about you? What is your so far, what's your favorite? What's your most memorable? Yeah.
Okay. I have quite a lot. They're all very memorable, but I think when I was shooting, I did I did 2 projects with Disney, and working with Disney is really amazing. Like the way they treat you and the way, you just get to, it feels like theater almost when you work with Disney. And for my theater experiences, I think my most memorable one was probably Seussical, because that's my first one. And that was the first time.
What's the title?
Seussical, the Broadway musical.
Seussical, the musical. Yeah, it's a Broadway musical based on Dr. Seuss, the books of stories of Dr.
the Broadway
Seuss.
musical. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm actually going. I went back to your CV, Joel. You've got so many stuff I couldn't remember. Okay, Seussical, I got it. Okay, Seussical, the musical.
So Seussical, because that was the first time I was.
Joel was so cute and so funny. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine Joel when he was 9 years old or 10 years old? And he just like stole the show in his scenes. He's this small, in his costume, and he had a bit of a stand-up thing going on. It was just so hilarious. He would steal the show in his scenes for sure.
Oh, you are like a proud mama bear, Joanna, as his teacher. Yeah, it's wonderful. That's wonderful. So that's one of your most memorable, Joel?
Yeah. Oh, that, and because that was the first time I really worked with, started working with professionals, and all of them gave really good advice to me when I was first starting out. I was like going there, oh, this is so fun. This is not a job. This is fun. But I, when I went in there, I went in there thinking it was gonna be fun and everything. Obviously, it wasn't really fun, but I went in there, and then when I came out, I was like, after the whole experience, I was like, wow, that was a really amazing experience. It was, and I realized I had to take it seriously and get into the character and start focusing on, because after that I wanted to, I knew I wanted to do this already. So that's why I stuck with Infinity Academy, and I've done so many shows with them, and all of them were all very memorable and like one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So do you,
And
do you,
I
during,
think that musical was kind of special because it's about like loyalty and friendship and overcoming things together, like feeling alone and being lonely, and then finding your true friends and connection, and supporting and being loyal to each other. And so that's kind of like the message of the show. And I think Joel portrayed that so well, and that's really relevant now, isn't it? In
Yeah.
what we're going through in this pandemic,
it's wonderful. Joel, have you played a villain before? Bad guy? Or a bad
Villain.
kid?
Uh,
Or a bad kid?
in all my shows, not in Infinity not in the productions for Infinity, but I played a villain in my school production. I was, do you know Beauty and the Beast? I was Gaston's, LeFou.
Yeah.
I played LeFou, so yeah, that was my first villain. Yeah.
But he is a cute villain, lovable
Yeah.
villain. Joanna, have you played a villain?
Yes, I have. Well, villain-ish.
Villain-ish.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I did. I did. I rarely act nowadays, but I did my first horror drama called Gaib on Tonton.
Okay.
On Tonton. So in that particular drama, I played a character that we think is the villain.
Oh, nice. Playing
And there's
villain,
a
I heard
twist.
it's so fun.
Okay, there's a twist. Okay, spoilers to anyone who wants to. Yeah, so that was my first Malay horror drama series. So I think, you can see it online. It's called Gaib.
Gaib. Okay. Because I hear that playing online, playing villain is more fun. You can test the range out. I don't know. I'm just saying what I read before. I was a lousy actress in school. I did poorly.
I'm sure
Stage
that's not true, Geraldine.
It's
That's
true.
true.
It's true.
Too hard on yourself.
I rather paint the backdrop, the poco and all that. I rather be painting and be a support crew, or during the show, I rather be holding the board up than to be in front of it. It's very freaky for
That's
me.
just as important. That's just as important.
Well,
That's
it was like what 15 years before I might have enrolled as well. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All
You can
right.
still enroll.
Sorry.
You can still enroll.
Yes. Question for you, Geraldine. You can do our performing arts certificate.
I was looking at the stuff that you shared with me, Joanna, the brochures and all that, and I saw the word script writing, and that somehow speaks to me.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know what I will write. I'll write a terrible script, but it was interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
never
fun.
liked being the fun.
I think the thing about creativity is that you do have to tap into a lot of what's fun, or that kind of a playful mindset. So I think all of these types of activities help you to like tap into that, and once you do, it kind of expands your imagination, and it's definitely helped me personally a lot through this whole trying times. I think everyone's finding it very challenging the last few months, and it would be awful if I didn't have the arts and creativity as an outlet to help deal with that. It's like a healthy way to deal with your emotions as well.
Yeah, that's true. Joanna, I'll ask you a tough question. Yeah.
Okay.
when I was heading into college, I wanted to take psychology, to which my mom, especially my parents, weren't too eager, weren't too excited because the industry, it was not ready, there was not much work, you won't make a good living, blah, blah, blah. I'm guessing it might be the same stigma for performing arts, for acting in Malaysia. What do you say to that? What do you see the future for this industry?
Yeah, I think in terms of just in terms of performing arts and acting, it is definitely a challenging thing. But the nice thing I notice about all the young performing artists that I know, when it came to this particular crisis, because they're innovative and they're entrepreneurial, they very quickly switched and adapted very, very fast, to figure out and find out how to survive. And so all of them are surviving. I think there's something to be said for that. And another piece of advice I would give, especially in the industry in Malaysia, don't just stick to one source of income. You should definitely use even if you're like learning creativity and you're learning performing arts and so on and so forth, you can use that in many, many different ways, right? So, for yourself, Geraldine, you can write, you can look at all the amazing stuff you're doing on your show. I mean, all of this is an art form, it's quite incredible. So like as an actor, what I used to do before I started working at Infinity Academy, I used to MC, I do voiceovers, I act in commercials as well as film and TV, So I used to have about 6 different sources of income, all related to my art form. And I think that's the nice thing about creativity. It teaches you to think in a diverse manner and not be so fixed that you can only do it this way, Yeah.
There are a lot of business startups or entrepreneurs that are actually engineer by training.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not just get so set in their ways. They come out and they explore different things, but they're always engineer at heart, most likely because they are problem solving type of people. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. Yeah, and it's important to diverse. And just looking at your CV and Joel's CV, you guys are doing so many different things in different languages in different countries. So yeah, that's a very good advice. That's a very good advice.
And the exciting thing about this whole MCO thing is that because we've been forced to do what we'd normally do in person, and now be able to figure out how do we make it experiential and fun online. Now we had students coming over from Sabah and Sarawak and like different parts of the country who wouldn't normally be able to come to, Kota Damansara, where our center is.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's true.
It's pretty cool.
You expand. I mean, in that sense, it's an expansion.
Yes. Yes. So anybody can come and join our webinar course. We have a really cool introduction.
You've got a new program up, right? You've got a clip for us to view tonight.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, the clip I have is for singing.
It's all right.
Should I share that?
Okay. For those of you who are interested, you would like to, tap into your, secret passion in the shower where you sing and all that. Who knows? You can actually enroll in this program Joanna has.
That this is our. Okay, can you see?
Okay, I'll add it to stream. Yep.
All right. So let's play this. Oh.
Yep, that's good. Yep.
Okay. So we have this amazing singing teacher.
From opera singers. It's all push that word, okay?
Tria Aziz.
So it's an online singing class.
Yes.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So you get to learn from Tria Aziz, who's this amazing teacher and performer in her own right. She's an award-winning actor and singer. and she will teach you online. And then you have classes with myself. We're going to be doing our corporate training for individuals as well as in groups. So we have this thing called Infinity Spotlight, which is impactful presentation and public speaking skills. And then also like, how do you deal with this screen now? Because now your presentation skills has to come through this camera. And how do you make it impactful? You know, how do you make it memorable? How do you make it clear? Yeah.
Right. Very cool. So a little bit more about Infinity, yeah. Joanna, just allow me to read from the brochure that you've shared with me. So there are programs like Introduction to Theatre, where you learn about the history of storytelling, technical theatre, and stuff like that about theatre.
Yes.
Yep, there's Basics of Voice, where you learn the anatomy and physiology of the voice, breathing and projection techniques, a little bit singing styles. That's good. That's amazing. There's also Basics of Acting or Leadership and Communication in the same module, same program. So you learn acting techniques, you learn script analysis, monologues. That's really cool. Okay, I keep saying cool because it's so new to me, and that's why I'm really excited. There's Basics of Movement and Dance. And that's on the brochure. Is that the latest price, Joanna?
Yeah, so all of the individual modules have their individual pricing. So you can do them, and you don't have to do them all at once. You can split them up. And we're starting on the 1st of July for the new semester. And this course that you just mentioned, those modules are actually part of a performing arts certificate. So that's actually worth 10 university credits. And we are in partnership with the MUST University, the Malaysian University of Science and Technology. So we are a sister organization with them. And so our 10 credit course is really kind of covers the full gamut of the performing arts. But you have the option to, instead of doing acting technique, if you don't want to do the art and craft of acting per se, you can choose to do the leadership communication module instead.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Yeah, because this show is not that scripted, so I didn't Joanna didn't prep me what to say. I didn't prep Joanna what to say. So that's what I got from the brochure. That because I did wonder, can I take this separately or is this all together? And that's really good that I can take it separately. Right.
And when you take it separately, the time is really manageable because you'll have assignments outside of class, which you can do in your own time, anytime. But the face-to-face time with the lecturer is actually really, really manageable. So the full course, you can complete the full course in 3 months, and it's just Monday evenings, Wednesday afternoons, and Saturday afternoons. So that's the full entire course of all 5 modules. So
and these are for adults, or this is the one for the kids? How about the kids? What do they learn?
So for the kids program, we have a new program called Musical 360, which will be online for the time being. The adult classes and the corporate training we can actually do in person in our studios now, with following all the guidelines and social distancing and things like that, the safety. But of course, we've been sanitizing like crazy, all of our studios. So we're ready to go back to doing our training with adults, whether it's the Performing Arts Certificate or whether it's our drama-based corporate traiing. But for children, for the time being, we're doing it online. And that's called Musical 360. That is what Joelle went through. And it will be Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And you'll learn speech and drama, you'll learn singing, you'll learn movement, you'll learn all about the theatre and expressing yourself in musicals. You'll learn a bit about costume and makeup, and we'll be doing a concert, fingers crossed, in person, not on a screen. I fingers crossed, I'm really praying and hoping for that at the end of the year in the school holiday concert program in November at the end of the year.
Is that the one that you shared with me as well on WhatsApp?
Yes, that's
can
right.
Can I share it here right now?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I really like it because the image is so cute. Can you guys see the Musical 360
yes.
on stage program? Yep, that's one. That's the program. Semester intake July to November, 8 to 16 years old. So if your kids are within this age group, 8 to 16 years old, it's 160 per month, 10 to 12 on a Saturday morning. Yeah, that's the investment in terms of time.
And this is
Yeah.
the school holiday program at the end of the year.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we'll be doing a
CrossFit.
concert.
It's
Yeah.
so cool. Okay. So there you go.
Physical. That's a picture of
this is-
physical.
yeah, that's physical. Yeah. I
Yeah,
can see
that's what Joelle was in.
Yeah. So Joel, why don't I ask you something? Okay. What would you say to encourage other kids to join this program?
It's really fun. Well, for me, it's more fun than studies. So it's like a time off from studies, and you know you
Can I
will
just
learn.
add one little thing? It is, I know I talk a lot, but it is a time off from studies, but it's also been proven scientifically that,
Yeah.
music and the performing arts actually increase, your results in mathematics, in English, in language, right? So yeah, that's,
In
I'm
activity,
just saying, I wasn't very, when I was in school, I did a lot of performing arts, but I also aced all my subjects. So I think it's not necessarily,
Scientifically proven.
you still can be, it can increase your intelligence. It's been proven to do that.
Yeah. It's like music. I mean, it's the creative part of your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, music increases your mathematical intelligence.
Correct. So Joel, yeah. So you'll say
Also improves your confidence. And when I was in Infinity Academy, one thing that when I Miss Joanna always says, she always shouts, projection of your voice, like every time. So it used to shock me, but I learned how to project my voice when I'm on stage so that everyone can hear, all 1,300 people can hear. It's so really important because I say in presentations as well in school, one of the key factors is the volume of your voice. Like the teachers normally would scold my friends. They'd be like, "Why are you guys so soft? You speak louder." So that's why I will always have to make sure to project my voice so that the whole class will be able to hear, even at the back. Will be able to hear what I'm sharing.
so. I mean,
Yeah,
the younger
our classes are like the reverse of school. Normally in school, you're taught like, duduk dan diam-diam, jangan bising, like, keep quiet, don't talk, don't be heard. So like our classes are sort of like a reverse of that. It's like, we
Yeah.
want, be louder, be heard. Yeah, you get scolded by me for being too soft. That's right.
I should have asked what's Joanna like as a teacher. I heard what Joel just said. Projection. Is she a garang teacher? Is she a garang teacher?
Sometimes, yeah. But like when obviously when we're not behaving or when we're not paying attention, obviously she'll have to raise her voice to make us pay attention. And obviously when there's shows and like when we're about to do the show, and if we're not doing it properly, obviously it's understandable to be angry, and it honestly it's good. So it's very good. Like like I have a lot of friends, and normally we like to play, before shows, and it has made it more serious now. When the show is starting, you have to focus, like I
More
say,
responsible.
yeah, an hour before the show, you have to focus solely on that character. Like you sit down in one corner, you just meditate, kind of,
Yeah.
go into the character,
We
and then
do
you
like
go
group
into it.
warm-ups.
Yeah, and
Warm
you
up.
do warm-ups, and
Can you guys do the warm up right now together? What are
Yeah.
the warm ups? What are the warm ups? Let's do it.
Well, there's all sorts of things that you can do for relaxation, like taking deep breaths, breathing low into your diaphragm. So like everyone who's with us, I don't know if there's still people watching, take a deep breath, be mindful of your breath, and like breathe out. Actually, I went to a conference by a doctor on stress, and they were giving all these breathing techniques for stress. And I was like, hey, that's what we do every day as actors. But so one technique is you can breathe in through the nose, really expanding your lungs and your diaphragm for 4 counts, then hold your breath for 7 counts, and then breathe out for 8 counts. And you do that 4 times. And after you've done that 4 times in a row, you just notice how you feel, like your stress or your level of focus, the clarity. So that's a good trick. Yeah. And then of course there's stretching and there's all sorts of relaxation you can do. But I think it's a little through the screen. What's your favorite warm-up game, Joel?
My favorite game. Zip Zap Boing.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
Before the shows, we will all of the cast, we will go, all the cast and crew, we will all be like, in a circle, like every single time. It's like a ritual. So we will always play different games to, hype ourselves up for the show. And we used to play this game called, it's one of the games that we played. It's called Zip Zap Boing, where I think left, where it's like you have to point in a direction. And you have this basically, the game is, the aim of the game is to, keep focus, keep your attention. You have to focus really, because you point left is zip, then right is zap, and then let's just say I'll point to you, zip, and then you either point to me or Joanna. So let's just say you point to me, I'm on your left, and you say zap, zip, and then if you point to Joanna, it's zap.
Okay.
So it's like you have to. It's like, it's like
It's a bit hard to visualize on
explain.
Zoom, but if you imagine a group of people standing in a circle, so like it teaches you your reaction time to be faster. And then, so when you cannot like kind of space out or fall asleep, you have to be
Yeah,
like
you have
right
to
there,
be
present in the
attentive
moment.
always.
So you don't, come in late for your cue when it's your line, and you're constantly reacting to what's going on in the present, in the now, to keep it
Right.
live, keep it fresh, right? You can't just act on stage and like, oh yeah, I did this a million times in rehearsal and expect people to be engaged as an audience. Yeah. So that doesn't work. You have to be it really teaches you, I think, to be present. Sometimes we forget, we're so much in our heads that we forget to look at what's really going on around us, who are we with, and reacting to what's happening now, as opposed to what has happened in the past that might have held us up.
Right.
So yeah, that's one of the things I love about the performing arts, is I think mentally it's very healthy. It encourages you in a very positive and safe space to not only express emotions that you may not necessarily have an opportunity to otherwise, or to experience other points of view, to experience different types of experiences.
Yeah.
But it also helps us to, be able to be mindful, be present, be in the now, appreciate who's really in front of us in this moment, and finding the magic in that particular live moment, a moment that you'll never get back again, because in our time progression, things will never happen exactly the same way again. So that's kind of the beauty or the magic of live performance.
Right. Yeah. It's so nice to be part of a team like that, because I can only imagine that the emotions are running really high, and sometimes it's so low. You got to lift somebody up. If it's not yourself, it's a team member, and that really bonds. Yeah. Joel,
And
any chance? Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead,
Oh no,
Joel.
I was just going to say, and hopefully the audience also have that emotional connection. Like you go have a group of people together, or like you listen to music, or you see the beautiful expression in dance, or whatever the art form is. It doesn't matter what it is, but you have a group experience together, an emotional experience together. And I think this is why we love sports. This is why we love concerts. This is why we love, to be together as people. Because when you have that shared emotional experience, these things are so memorable, we'll never forget them. And it reminds us, like, why is it important? Yeah, like, what does it mean to be alive? It reminds us what it means to be really, truly alive.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, a simple example is like, that's why MCO is tough for a lot of us, because we can't be out in groups, and we miss our friends and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's true. Joel, at just 15 and a half years old, you are already experiencing this. This will shape your future too.
Joel, do you miss your girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend.
Okay, so for everyone out there, Joel is single. Okay, so we've chatted so long. It's already 1 hour past our time. Yeah, I mean it's past our time. We've been chatting for about an hour. Joel, I wanted to know: is your father around or your mother?
My father, I don't know where my father. I
Is
can
he
go look for him.
lurking around? Yeah, can
I think
you
he's
call
outside.
one of them? I would like to
Alright.
ask him. Yeah, or her. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, Joanna, I'm just trying to get a parent's point of view. I am quite curious, not curious, I just want to hear from a parent as to
Mhm.
how, to provide the encouragement and the support and to maybe, take the action, not be afraid of the uncertainties. Like, what if he really likes acting and then he becomes an actor, and then what if he doesn't turn out? I want to hear from a parent, basically.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, from my point of view, eh, I think it's a great skill to have no matter what you're doing. And also, life is an interesting one. You don't have to be doing just one thing.
You
Yeah.
seriously must catch me in my
Yeah.
time where I don't have my makeup on.
Wow,
Hi.
hello.
Hi,
Hi,
senior Joel.
hi.
Yeah, yeah. Hi. I just wanted to ask because we've been hearing from Joel, and I was reading his CV and all that. It's very impressive, and for sure, it requires the support of the entire family. The whole platoon have to come in and help him out. So yeah, I wanted to hear from the father or the parent. So how is
Well,
the journey like?
like I mentioned to you, the CV was quite a little bit of a hard work because when he started performing at the age of 9, I started collecting all the work that he has done. So from that day he started acting until now, I have every single photo of every single event and show and the site and everything. Everything is
Can I
recorded.
just say, I wish I had Tim as my father to do this for me as well. You could be
Yeah,
hired. Yes.
so amazing. Yeah,
I just feel that every single bit of a paper that he has experienced is going to be very memorable in future. Well, noting the fact that if let's say one day he become very famous, that piece of paper can sell for a lot of money. No,
auction.
that's not really the point. But I think a lot of these are very memorable. Every single script that he has read, I kept it. Every single scribble of the director's notes, I have kept it for him. I mean, leave it for him as a kid, he will not value this. But us as someone who has never experienced this before, I think it's very memorable. Yep.
Mm.
So that's why I kept a lot of his photos and his behind the scenes and stuff like that.
How do you keep him going? How do you encourage him?
Well, continue to get the platform for him to be in, because what I see is for Joel, he appreciates that that result of what he has done. The end show, the end result. He can be putting a lot of effort. There's some like long hours, hot suns and whatever not. But the end result of the show, I find he has that kind of satisfaction, and I share that too. Being a proud father, and that's what drives us to do this together. So I continue to work hard to find stuff for him. I continue to promote. I have to be actively promoting for him. I have to be sending his CV out to
So you're
the
his
talent.
agent.
Yeah, unofficially, and nobody trained me. I just did whatever I knew. He's my agent.
Joanna, do you have a
Yes.
program for agents? Who knows, right? Yeah, it's part of the whole economy. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Managers.
managers. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, this is very important to support that kind of creativity. Absolutely. And
yeah.
I think we definitely don't have enough of that yet, especially here in Malaysia. We don't have enough of that yet. So maybe moving forward, and especially the way all our economy is going, that might be, the content, really good artistic content that people love to watch or tune into is king now, isn't it? I mean, everyone's been watching and listening to all sorts of things. So,
Mhm.
developing that's thanks to people like Tim and Tammy who will support the kids in this way. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so Tim, how would you recommend Infinity Academy?
I would highly recommend Infinity. Ever since the day I put Joel and eventually my daughter in as well, I've been recommending to a lot of my friends. It was very simple because whatever Joel has done, the friends will be asking, the my friends will be asking, hey, how did you get Joel to start this thing, start that thing? And I always point back to Infinity. There's nowhere else. I always point back to Infinity because that's the easiest way. Because I trust that the parents that bring the kids there, they are in good hands. Joanna is amazing. And Tiara is amazing, you know, Tria Aziz is amazing. Yeah, all of them are amazing. So they are in good hands. I find if there is a place, a performing arts center for kids, okay, Infinity will be the specialist. And I think nowhere else I can get that.
Amazing. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Tim, thank you so much. Without your makeup, but you speak very well anyway, so who cares about the makeup?
Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. So Joanna, last question to you. Nothing scary. So what's your parting advice for parents who has kids who want to enroll?
Well, you can contact us. Now we have all sorts of easy ways to register with Google Forms and things like this. So you can contact us on our email, which is enact@infinity.com.my, or maybe we can share that. I don't know how to share
I will
that.
put it in the comment box at the end of the show. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you
So,
can email us, and we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, Infinity Academy, ENFINITI. And yeah, we have loads of photos and videos of all the different kinds of workshops and classes we do. So I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you on screen. If we can't come to the studio live in person, then we'll see you on screen.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's not that intimidating after all, after speaking to Principal Guru Besar Joanna here, and Joel, one of a very successful pupil, it's not that scary. I mean, if you spot that your kid has this interest, or if you are a kid watching this show and you have interest, speak up and go check out Infinity, see what they do over there, take on 1 or 2 courses, and who knows what will happen, right? Okay.
Yeah. And I just have to end by saying that I think Tiara's dream has always been to not just be a center of like creativity and performing arts, but also to inspire our future leaders. You know, so I think having that entrepreneurial and creative thinking mindset helps to develop your leadership skills. So if I look at Joel, he's a great example of a young man now, but from a child who's like, he's going out there, he does the voiceover workshop, and then he does voice acting, and he starts to build a whole career. He's doing films, he's doing television, he's doing commercials, he's doing theater. So the entrepreneur, that is driven not just by his parents, that's driven by him primarily.
Yes.
And
Yes,
what
correct.
sparks that, and I think that's where we can help.
It's amazing. Okay, so we will leave Joanna's contact over on the comment box later. And if you want to, get to know Joel, interview Joel, hire Joel, team will be around, of course, moderating all the comments. Maybe team will be, you can reach out to team. And again, like I said, you never know what will happen because this is a very exciting industry, performing arts and arts education. Yeah. So with that, I want to say thank you to all our audience today, and a very, very big thank you to Joel and Joanna for spending more than an hour with me. I'm so excited to have you guys here today. It's quite special for me. Yeah.
Jerry, can I just add one parting?
Yes, come team. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to I'm actually designing something for Joel is actually designing something, a talk show, very similar to what Jerry, you're doing, inspired by you as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like this show, but a younger, with teenagers, where they cover topics more connected to people their age, So Joel and another secret host that he's going to co-host together with Joanna. You will know, but I shall not mention the name now. There'll be a surprise, and we're likely to look at that being launched in July. Yeah.
In July, I see. Well, that's amazing, Joel. I forgot to ask you about what are your future plans. So that's coming out in July, yeah. So you're excited about that?
Very excited.
Very
Mostly
excited.
inspired by
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But like what Joanna said, it's the leadership thinking that is coming to the surface for people that have studied in this kind of programs. Yeah, wonderful, Joel. I wish you all the best for your show, and of course, do let us know when it starts. Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah,
Will do.
yeah. All right.
Very exciting.
That I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward. Yeah, very, very good. This is exciting. And Papa Tim, you're an amazing father. You're an amazing father. Yeah, knowing that your I think your 9-year-old daughter, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, 9 years old, and she's already doing voiceovers in Mandarin. I heard the last.
Yeah, he just completed one set of voiceover, 24 episodes and children education animation video, and they have just contacted us for the second season. So he's just renewed for second season. He's starting next week.
Amazing. So good. So good. Kids are busier than me. Okay, Joel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for
Thanks.
letting me be on your show.
No, you're amazing. Good job. Okay, with that, we shall bid you good night. I don't want to take so much more of our audience's time. Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Geraldine.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having
Bye.
us. Bye. Thank you.